It is their light touch, their philosophical outlook on all pressures and on all censure and on all difficulties. For example, out at Atlantic Beach, there was a sign. It said, "Private beach, no swimming allowed." So one little Jewish man calmly came to the beach and jumped right in. The policeman came right over and pulled him off. You see the sign? "Private beach, no swimming allowed." So he rushed right back in the water. The policeman dragged him off to court. He said, "Your Honor, I told this man private beach, no swimming allowed." He went right back in the water. The judge said, "Well, didn't you read the sign?" He said, "Your Honor, you went to college. Read it your way." I read it my way. He says, "How did you read it?" He says, "Private beach, no swimming allowed." You see the way the Jewish people look at things? Now you know why they have stayed stable, steady, and they continue to flourish despite the pogroms, the persecutions. Speaking of pogroms, there was a Russian pogrom once, and this Cossack came in and he said, "All women here between 17 and 80 will be raped." So one of the daughters pleaded, "Please, leave my 50-year-old aunt alone." The aunt said, "Shut up! A pogrom is for everybody." I was thinking, too, speaking of the philosophy, I was thinking about a very shy young Jewish boy who never went out with girls. And the reason he didn't go out with girls was because he could never talk. He didn't know what to say. So he told a friend about this. The friend said, "Listen," he said, "I'll give you some good advice. I think it's even in the Torah. When you go with a girl, you don't want to talk about. Think about the 3 F's. Food, family, and philosophy." He says, "You can always talk about those things." So he said, "All right, I'll remember it." He went out with a girl one night. He couldn't think of what to say, so he thought of the first one, food. He says, "Tell me, do you like beblock soup?" She said no. Well, that was the end of that conversation. So he thought of the next one, family. He says, "Tell me, do you have a brother?" She said no. Well, that killed that conversation dead. The third one, of course, was philosophy. He says, "Tell me, if you had a brother, would he like beblock soup?" It isn't easy sometimes to understand the Jewish audience because the things that they do are sometimes unfathomable. I remember at Grossinger's once, they put me on a stage with a big spotlight, blinding spotlight, but I could just see in front of me, right directly in front of me, a little Jewish lady, and she looked at me for the whole hour I spoke. And every time I'd say something, she'd say, "Good, good, good, good." When I was finished, I said, "How'd you like my talk?" She said, "I've heard better." I said, "You kept yelling, good, good, good." She says, "Well, I happen to have rheumatism, and the spotlight warmed up my back for me a little bit." Well, that's better than having them sit there and prepare a chicken, you know. I want to tell you, as my final story, a story which I think is the most appropriate to end our evening tonight. I want to tell you about an Arab. And as you know, the relationship between Arabs and Jews haven't been too smooth lately. This Arab was walking with his camel through the desert. He was parched, thirsty. He hadn't had water for days. As he sat there disconsolate, ready to die, a genie appeared. And he said, "Arab, I grant you 3 wishes. The Arab said, "First, water. Water for my camel and myself." And suddenly, water springs, a swimming pool, vast areas of water suddenly sprung up in that desert. He drank to his heart's content, and he was ready for his second wish. He said, "Now I want a castle right here, filled with beautiful furnishings in gold and silver." And in the flick of a breath, there was the castle, the silver, the furnishings. "And now, Arab, your third wish." He said, "I wish all the Hebrews all over the world to be dead." And in the flick of an eyelash, the castle disappeared, the swimming pool disappeared, and he was sitting there alone with the camel. The moral is, think before you speak. You never know when you will meet a Jewish genie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.